Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here to my channel, be sure and hit the subscribe button for more videos. And at the end of the video, if you like this video, be sure and hit the like button. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be talking about the Hope Philodendron today. This is my new plant. I've had it approximately 2 weeks. I got it at Lowe's and it is doing fabulous. It's so big to turn and hold in the camera, so I'm just going to walk around and give you a good look at the plant. Let me come out a little bit so you can see it. It's already a pretty good sized plant. When I got it, there was a little bit of yellow leaves in the bottom, the babies, so I did trim those back, but that happens during shipment sometimes when they give them a lot of water to make it during shipment. Sometimes that will happen, so I just trimmed all those back. But as you can see, there's a whole bunch of little babies already coming out. This plant grows super fast. I love it. It's doing amazing. I just had one leaf that was not doing too well, but it has a baby coming out on it. So I'm going to let it grow out a little bit before I trim the bad leaf off. I don't like leaving bad leaves on because it takes so much from the plant growing, and so I like to trim those back. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about this plant. So I'm going to read off a few little notes that I took. So if you don't mind, I'll just read those. I'm going to tell you where it originated from. It's originally from Brazil, Bolivia, Argentina, and Paraguay. South America, guys. This is a beautiful tropical plant. Grows super well in tropical areas. I would imagine Florida would be one of them. I've seen a lot of this when I was in Florida. I used to live there, and these do super well there. They love the humidity. They love being mist. You can mist them every day, and they will do super great. As far as watering, you're going to want to make sure you keep the soil moist, but it should not be overwatered. Don't ever keep your soil soggy. Nothing likes real soggy water, especially an indoor plant, because they're going to get root rot if you do that. So you want to make really sure that you don't leave it too soggy. Let your water drip from the bottom of the pot when you water it. When it starts dripping, you know you've watered it good enough. Now, again, you don't want to overwater. Take a look. When it dries out just a little bit, maybe an inch, 2 inches down at the most, you'll know you need to water again. Also, your leaves will start getting a little kind of droopy, and then you'll know it's time to water again. I'm going to be giving plant food to my plant every 2 weeks. I always give my plants plant food every 2 weeks. Fertilizer, I'm going to fertilize this one 2 times a month. The reason being is I'm going to fertilize at half the strength because the roots are sensitive. You don't want to burn the roots. Also, if you fertilize twice a month on this plant at half strength, it will grow faster. Now, indoors, this plant is going to get about 4 foot by 4 foot. So you want to make sure that you have a really nice roomy area where you're going to be putting it. And I suggest in a south window where it can get the best light. Don't sit it directly where the leaves are touching the glass. You don't want it to burn. But it should do perfect in front of a south window. I have mine in a south window about 2 feet from the window, and like I said, it is doing super great there. Now, a lot of people ask me about fertilizers and plant food. What's the difference? The difference is they have different nutrients. So what plant food gives, a fertilizer doesn't give, and what nutrients the fertilizer gives, the plant food doesn't give. So you want to make sure you give them both. That's very important. Okay, lighting, we talked about lighting. Maintenance, you want to make sure you remove all dead leaves. We talked about that. Don't ever leave dead leaves sitting on your plant. It does take from the nutrients of your plant. Trying to revive that dead leaf where all the energy could be focused on the plant itself, keeping it really good, healthy. It filters out certain toxins from the air, improves the overall air quality in your home, which I love that idea. I have a plant room and I feel really good when I walk into that room, and I know it's because there's so much toxins that have been removed from the air. I have good quality air. I feel really good when I walk into that room. if you're going to keep this plant outside, it can get 15 foot by 15 foot, so it can get huge. Don't think it's going to do well in the northern states where it's going to be super cold because it does not like the cold. Pets, if you have pets, you have to be really careful having this plant as it can be toxic to cats and dogs. Be super careful. Make sure you call your poison control center if your animal should ingest this plant. So just make sure that they don't do that. Please make sure they don't do that. If you have small children, again, it is toxic to humans. It can be deadly to humans or to animals. So be very careful if you have small children. If they're going to come near the plant, make sure they're not touching it, because if they touch it, put their hands in their mouth, it can be toxic. You can just have a sensitivity to touching it without gloves. So as you can see, I have my gloves right here. And I'm just being really cautious. Always be cautious with your plants. It's just for safety purposes. I am giving purified water to all my plants now. I'm not giving them regular tap water anymore. A lot of people say let your water sit overnight and it'll be perfect the next day. And I kind of don't agree with that because the ammonia level shoots up overnight. I know that because I have aquariums, and I just don't see how that can be good for your plant. Also, a lot of the salts and stuff like that minerals, all of that can accumulate in the soil right down in here. And when it does that, your plant is not going to do very well. So those are just a few little tips on things that I change. Be sure you always use your gloves, even when you're, repotting, when you're handling your plants, anything like that, just for safety. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of bacteria right down there in that soil. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions on this plant, be sure and leave them below. Hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.